the goal in life is to gain joy, happiness, confidence, and peace in your spirit, in your emotion, in your mind, and in your physical being. And the only way to do that is that to make the effort to grow and gain in those areas. And you can do it a lot easier with using the 5 physical senses in a proper way, and also to apply the 4 invisible senses. One of the important things about learning about traditional teachings is that we always have a visual aid when we talk about the hand. There's so much teaching in that associated with the hand, and it is that we refer to ourselves as the 5-fingered being. Belashlai is what we are calling ourselves at various times. Belashlai, that is a reference to the 5-fingered being. But the hand, also the fingers, represent the 5 physical senses in that we have of sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. And these senses, of course, can get us into a lot of trouble, because it is that we develop habits, and that with any of these senses of what we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch, and what we hear. These can be good habits, or they can become bad habits as well, where we get ourselves into trouble when we use these senses in excess and to satisfy appetites and that in the wrong setting and in the wrong way. So it is that we are told that there are 4 invisible sacred senses. Now, I'm not going to disclose the 4 sacred senses, but I would encourage people to know that they can acquire these, the understanding of these sacred senses, and they have to do it on their own. And if I share the information that I'm aware of, it would be meaningless to people in just a few hours. But if they are put in a position where they actually have to find these sacred senses themselves, it would be of greater value to them. And so it is that modern times people would ask, how can I have access to traditional Navajo teachings, or get into the sweat lodge, into these ceremonies, and learn of these invisible senses? But I would suggest that there are people all over the world, and from what we've had as far as people that have responded to our website, I would encourage you to have a relationship with your deity as you understand that being. And it is that there are different ways that people, of course, worship and have relationship with their deity. And so I encourage people of any faith or any type of awareness of the Maker, and that you have a relationship with that being. And I've had some people say, well, I don't believe in that there is such a being. And so it is that when that's said to me, I always think, among our people, we have the teaching that there is no such thing as nothing. And we always say, we see it, we hear it, we smell it, we taste it, we touch it. And yet, if it is not that something we can encounter with the physical senses, then we can encounter them with our spiritual senses, or with our invisible senses. And so it is that with the sacred being, when you say, I don't believe that there is such a being, then easily we can say, okay, then you believe in the no God, or the no being, or the no deity. Then that is what you have a relationship with. And so I encourage people to have a relationship with their being that they understand as their Maker, and learn of these sacred senses. And it is that when you have that relationship with your deity, you understand far beyond the words that I can express. When you seek these senses to yourself, and you will value them and apply them in your life. And so it is that that's the way that the traditional teachings of our people go, is that you find for yourself these opportunities to have these sacred senses and develop them and use them in your life in cooperation with the 5 physical senses, so you don't make so many mistakes as you journey through life. And the other thing maybe to mention is that the goal in life is to gain joy, happiness, confidence, and peace in your spirit, in your emotion, in your mind, and in your physical being. And the only way to do that is that to make the effort to grow and gain in those areas. And you can do it a lot easier with using the 5 physical senses in a proper way, and also to apply the 4 invisible senses. The time will come when you might encounter fear in some of these areas. And people are always saying, that fear is a negative thing, but no, fear is a very positive thing. Fear in itself is good. It is that it guides us into the directions that probably we would benefit from. Without fear, people might jump off of cliffs, and people would stand in traffic and put themselves in harm's way. And so it is that fear is good in that regard. But also when you overcome fear and you encounter the fear, it's like learning how to ride a bicycle. It's a very fearful experience when you try to ride a bicycle, but once you get on that bike and you're able to pedal around by yourself, it's a sense of confidence and relief and joy and happiness and peace. And you never learn how to, you never forget the learning process of learning how to ride a bike. And so it is with all fears, that whether it be spiritual, emotional, mental, or physical, that when you are willing to encounter your fears and get beyond them, you will gain the joy, happiness, confidence, and peace. And those are the things that we are told.